expect we'll be busy as the morning goes along, but we're going to step aside for our phone calls right now as we have Gavan in the studios with us today. He's from the Temple Theater. He's director, choreographer, and musical director. What else do you do, Gavan? I guess a little bit of everything, huh?
My new job at the Temple, I'm the director of marketing and development. So I'm actually taking the summer off from directing and choreographing. And Jacob Toth, who you saw last week, came in and
doing that now.
He's taking that over, and I was just in Thursday. I go in at the mornings and then in the afternoons to see how things are going. And I went in, and last Thursday I could just see everybody like hitting that wall. You know, when you're a runner and you hit that wall in the final turn. They were all like, "It's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, and we get 2 days off." But now they go for 4 weeks without a day off because we have performances this weekend with Frozen, and then we have performances next weekend with Schoolhouse Rock, and then they go through another week of rehearsal. So they don't have time off until then.
Well, lots of stuff going on. Well, let's turn it over to Margaret.
I don't know. He was making me so excited talking about all these things that's going on. I don't know. Just let him talk.
You know I'll never stop talking, Margaret.
I know, Gavin. Tell us about all these youthful productions that's coming out.
Well, what's really exciting is Frozen is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's one show on Friday night at 7:30, two on Saturday at 2 and 7:30, and then Sunday at 2 p.m. And it's Frozen. It's Frozen Junior. And so we have kids between the ages of 8 and 17 or 18, I think our oldest is. And they're putting on a production of, you know, the animated classic Frozen. So all of your favorite characters from that, Anna and Elsa and Olaf and Sven and Kristoff, they're all going to be on stage. And they've been rehearsing really hard and doing really great work. And so that's actually going to happen this weekend, which is pretty spectacular.
Well, I talked to one young lady at the production of Swan Lake on Saturday, and she'd been with the Temple, with the Carlos kids for quite some time. And I said, "Why aren't you dancing?" And she looked at me as if to say, "I'm an adult now." She said, "I'm in Frozen."
Oh, see?
And then she handed me her book.
Oh, see?
I said, "Okay, you've moved on up in this world." And she was so excited. So if all the kids participating in Frozen and the other summer productions have the enthusiasm that she has, you're going to have a fantastic summer.
Yeah. It's great. One of our parents actually posted on Facebook a picture of her daughter holding her book from the Temple, her Frozen book from the Temple. And the quote was, Eleanor said, "I wish Temple happened on the weekends," because our camp goes Monday through Friday, and then when the shows happen, they perform on the weekends, but they have like these 2 days off in the middle of it, and they all want to be there constantly. You think they would be tired of coming in every day, but they're not. Even the kids who are just in the ensemble, and I always hate to say just in the ensemble, because as I was doing the program the other day and realizing that these kids are doing like 10 different things in the show. They're playing mountain people. They're playing, you know, the snow, because part of what's exciting about the stage version is when there's a snowstorm, the kids are the snowstorm, and so they all participate in it. When, you know, when it's summer, they're all part of the summer song. So when Olaf sings his song, there are 10 or 15 other kids on stage with him performing. And that's what's so great about these summer programs that we do at the Temple is everybody, even though they might not be playing Anna or Elsa in the show, they're really involved and they have a lot to do. It's pretty great.
Well, the poor little darlings don't know what to do with themselves on weekends.
Oh.
They can't play Elsa and Frozen and Elsa and whoever else. They're stuck on Temple and Frozen.
Absolutely. Well, we had another set of parents that posted on Facebook that said, "I think we know every line from the show," because their kids are playing Olaf. It's Cora and Jude Stump. They're playing Olaf and young Anna. And of course, they come home. They spend their entire day at the Temple doing that, and then they go home and rehearse.
Mommy, we have nothing to do.
Exactly. Oh, they have plenty to do. And now the parents are happy. I think they're happy that they're at the camp, but at the same time, they're happy when the camp is done because they don't have to listen to Frozen anymore. But
now the costume's done.
Oh, the costumes are spectacular. We have a new costume designer at the Temple. Alex Allison joined us from Norwegian Cruise Line, and he was the costume at the Norwegian Cruise Line. And he's a boy from the Midwest, from Nebraska, who wanted a small town experience. So he came to the Temple to us, and he, of course, his first show was Grease. But he's actually building Anna and Elsa's costumes from scratch from the beginning, you know. So he's starting, and it's really great to see these young kids that are like 12 and 15 having clothes made for them, you know, and standing there and having everything pinned in. But they're beautiful clothes, and we also had some local artists, Lisa Mathis and Pam and Michelle Morey helped create Olaf and Sven. Sven is a large puppet type thing that two of the kids are actually inside. That is a big reindeer. It's a huge reindeer on stage, which is really great. And then Olaf, of course, who's a snowman. And they look like the Disney characters. So Alex is doing a great job with his crew, and it's the animated show come to life. It's pretty spectacular.
And if you don't get your tickets early, you're going to be out in the cold.
You have to. Yeah, you have to get tickets. Absolutely.
Now, when's the first production?
First production is this Friday at 7:30.
Oh my!
Yeah,
you mean
Friday.
there's a ticket left?
Yeah, there's a couple tickets left. Yeah, but you better call in today to get them. And it's amazing that these kids put on shows. The camps are only 2 weeks long, and next week Schoolhouse Rock is only 1 week long. And they learn an entire show in 1 week. And next week is kids between the ages of 8 and 12. And it baffles me that well, of course, the older I get, the more I forget. And I don't know how they remember it. And I still do it. That's the thing, and that's true. And I still do it. I'm still an actor, but I'm still baffled at how these kids that young are fearless and can go out there and do these things. It seems like they were born to be on stage.
Well, that's probably why they are being a part of the Temple Productions, because somewhere in the back of their minds, I'm going to be a star.
Yeah. Well, you hope that. You hope they're going to be. And you hope they're going to be a star for the right reasons. And if it's with theater, that's awesome.
They will
That's
be.
great.
Now tell us about this warehouse that you had wanted for so
Oh,
long.
yes. We're excited for that. We're excited, but at the same time, we're exhausted because I know who's going to have to be moving this stuff to the warehouse. We got a warehouse.
But it's not too far away, is it?
No, it's only 2 blocks away from the temple, which is what we've been looking for. It's probably not a permanent a place for us because it's still not large enough. The more we grow, the more square footage we need. But what's exciting about it is our scene shop is right now on site. It used to be what was the black box. Peggy came in the first year and created a black box, and it happened that we couldn't use it as a black box. Long story. But our scene shop has been in that space, and it's been underneath what our education building is. It's the first floor of our education building. And so our scene shop has been in there probably for the 10 years that Peggy has been here. Now we can move that entire scene shop down 2 blocks to this new warehouse. And that space is actually going to become more classroom space for us. So we're going to end up with probably 2 brand new studios because of this move to the warehouse, which means we have more space to educate more kids, which is excellent.
Well, Gavin, since you're my friend, I'm going to tell you a secret. That warehouse could be a gold mine as far as getting us slipping away. You open that door, go in there and say you're going to take garments, you get a good nap.
There's no napping at the temple. You should know that by now. Peggy's away for 2 weeks, and you would think that the mice would play when the cat's away. That's not the truth. We're all trying to get stuff done, so when she comes back, she gives us more stuff to do.
Of course.
Because she's only here for a week and a half. You'll get to see her next Tuesday.
And then she's going
And then she's gone again to do a production of Footloose in Oregon,
now,
which
what
is great.
Is she doing a production now?
She's doing a production of 101 Dalmatians in St. Louis.
And
what's
want her
really
to bring
great,
that home.
yeah, what's really exciting for her is that she's from St. Louis, so she gets family time. So not only does she get to spend family time, but she also, it's nice for her to get away from the temple to see how other people do it and compare and contrast. And usually when she comes back home, she says, we're doing things right. Because she goes and experiences something.
She brings their stuff back and turns it into something totally different.
Yeah, well.
Makes it totally great.
Well, it's amazing that, single-handedly she's turned the temple around, which, and we all know in 2008 the economy crashed, and she managed, everybody advised her to shut the temple down, and she kept it open. And
they say redheads are like that.
She is a redhead. She's a redhead and a Leo. So that's
a combination. Yeah.
It's a combination. I'm a Leo too. I'm not a redhead, but
we could change that.
Well, if I had hair to dye, we could change that. But she's so formidable and so great, and her passion is infectious, and that's what she can give us one word of advice and say, just one phrase to us, hop in a car and leave, and you can carry that for weeks until she comes back. And you don't realize exactly how much work you actually can accomplish in the short amount of time that she has. I mean, it's been 11 years, and she's created some spectacular things. And I'm excited about being a part of the process now, because I've been down here occasionally to a show here, to do there. I spent last summer here.
But we've decided to keep you too. We kind of like you too.
Hey, I like being here, and I like Sanford, and the new house is moving along. I bought a money pit. I can tell everybody that, but Hey, it's in a great
It will
neighborhood.
be yours when you finish.
It's my money pit. That's right.
Now, tell us a little bit more about all these other things in addition to Schoolhouse Rock. I want to call it Jailhouse Rock, but Schoolhouse Rock
yeah.
and
well,
and
we
all
always
these
call
other
it by the
things.
show last summer. We always call it How to Eat Like a Child because it was so successful for us because it was the first year we did this program. Schoolhouse Rock is our advanced camp for the 8 to 12-year-olds. And last year, Peggy said, oh, and by the way, you're doing a 1-week camp with 8 to 12-year-olds, and you have 4 days to put it together. And they had never done it before, so we were sort of like the baptism of fire. And we realized that these kids actually can learn that much stuff. I mean, it was funny last year. Grace Bell, who was my choreographer, and James Clark, who was our spectacular musical director, he's back again this year. But we got to Tuesday, and we were like, we got to cut stuff. They're just not going to learn it. And on Wednesday's rehearsal, the kids were completely off book. They knew everything. They're like, yeah, we got this. We can do this. And so you realize, as much
even
as
Frozen's a big book.
Frozen
For
is
little
an
kids.
hour long. Yeah, for kids it's an hour long, but for 2 weeks of work and for the age range that they are, it's a lot of material. Same thing with Into the Woods last summer. It was a 3-hour musical that we had to do in 2 weeks, which I was like, it's unbelievable. But this year, Schoolhouse Rock, what's exciting about that is that so many of us know it. So many of us grew up learning our arithmetic and learning history and English from Schoolhouse Rock. That's, it's how I know history is Schoolhouse Rock, and that's really sad. But it also inspired me to like history. I'm a history buff and I enjoy it. But these kids get a chance to bring that to life and again learn. Everything's a learning process.
And I think it's great.
It's
Now, we're
awesome.
not having any outdoor Shakespeare this year, right?
No, we realized in the past couple of years that we were talking before. He's one of our temple kids as well.
I thought he was.
Yeah, he was in. What did we do last summer?
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was in Midsummer Night's Dream last summer, and we were talking about how outside in Depot Park you're dealing with the trains coming by, and you have to stop the show because the trains are so loud, and they're
And
right
the
next
heat,
to the stage.
and the gnats.
The heat and the gnats, but the worst was the rain, and we've had such rainy summers. And last summer we were just completely rained out every single day, every rehearsal, and it was just a mud pit. And so we ended up doing the entire show last summer in the theater, and it just seemed logical to do it in the theater this year. And everybody had an experience. And again, it's a nice experience having a picnic outside in the park and experience Shakespeare in the park, but nobody really can hear very well as much as we amplify it. There's just so much ambient noise.
Give me the inside with the air conditioning.
Yeah. I think you're not the only one that wants that. I realized last summer people were like, oh, you were there in that North Carolina heat. I was like, I was in air conditioning the entire time. Like, I never saw sun, really, truly. And I mean, you can tell that by fish belly white skin. But it's so much nicer, and the temple is, and it was really intimate seeing Shakespeare in that atmosphere. And that's something, we don't do Shakespeare as part of our normal season,
Yeah.
the professional season. And so it's really great for kids. And we have some kids who've come up in the process who've been probably in every production of Shakespeare that we've done, and they're finally
And that will help them
high school students.
academically.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It really is great. And we have a wonderful guy coming in this year. His name is Patrick O'Brien. He's touring with Cirque du Soleil right now in Europe. And he was in the Broadway production of War Horse, so he has a lot of puppetry skills. So he's bringing all of those skills to the Shakespeare camp this year. And he leaves us to go star in Kung Fu Panda in, I can't remember what country, but he's starring for Susan Stroman, a Broadway director choreographer, is doing a live version of Kung Fu Panda on stage, and he's going to be the Kung Fu Panda. So that's our claim to fame. Our Kung Fu Panda is directing our Shakespeare.
Well, it's my claim to fame when I go away and tell people we have Temple Theater and we bring in people from all walks of life and we get stars and performers and nobody else can get. We got it going on here.
We love your support, and it's just really, it's exciting to be a part of the growth of Temple Theater too, and that's something that other people don't understand. You know, I go to the shows at DPAC, I've gone to the shows down in Raleigh, and the amount of money that you spend for the ticket price that you spend at the Temple
And to
Theater.
get a parking space.
Yeah, it's free parking, and it's also a quality theater at an affordable price, which you can't beat. And we're going to continue bringing all of that next year, and Peggy will be, I can't wait for Peggy to get back, because she always, she has an energy, as you know, that
It's always like,
none of us have.
Mommy, what did you bring me? What did you bring me?
Correct, exactly.
Back.
Here's 5 more weeks of work. Yeah. It was funny. I just had an email conversation with her the other day, and she said, "Oh, and by the way, I didn't have time to work on this, but here's a list." And it was like 20 things. And I was so proud of myself because I was like, I completed the list. She gave me the list and I completed it.
She'll probably bring you back a candy bar.
Probably, and
something
that's
like
fine,
that.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. We still haven't had time to get her over for dinner at our new house, so hopefully that'll happen in the week and a half she's here.
Like you have to plan it in advance and then just say, come on, throw everything away and come to my house.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're such a delight to
Oh,
have in the
Margaret, thank
studio
you.
in the morning.
I love being here. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll look forward to somebody coming back next week. Have a
Absolutely.
good day
You
in
too,
the sun.
Margaret. Thanks, Sean.
Best wings in Sanford are